Hello everybody, welcome back to some Fallout 4. So as you can see, we're in Sanctuary, and also as you can see, I've been doing a little bit of building. I got my street lights up and running. That's just there because it was like shoved in behind that building originally. Uh, so I know I said we go to Concord today, but I actually have two other locations that I want to clear out today. Also, I just realized inventory aid. Where is There it is, right away. Favorite that to there. Oosh. All right. So, first things first, because also I need to find my dog. I told him to sit somewhere. Uh, if we go, as you can see, I do have 3 points that I could use that I haven't yet. All of my things here are level 10. And I'll show you how I did that because I still have it set up. I need to take it apart after, but I've left it up and running just so that I could show you guys how I did it. It's super fucking annoying, but in the end, it's kind of worth it. Because if there's two things that I actually dislike about this system here, is that these stats here affect what you can learn and the level requirements. I don't much care for either of those things. The level requirements I understand because obviously, if you get like let's say gun nut 3 or whatever, right? Wherever gun nut is, I don't actually remember. I think it's under agility, maybe. Nope, definitely not. Anyway, that would let you get like super good fucking guns like immediately, right? So the reason why I haven't spent them yet is because maybe we'll come across an expert lockpick, maybe we'll come across an advanced terminal. I'm just gonna save these 3 for right now. I did put a point into Idiot Savant because you randomly receive 3 times experience from any action. Now, it does say the lower your intelligence, the greater the chance, but I still generally put 2 points into it. The last one, I don't really worry about because most of the time when I get the trigger for experience, it's not while I'm in the middle of killing stuff. And now it does say the lower your intelligence, the greater the chance. Obviously, you need intelligence 4 or luck. Yeah. Oh no, it's all under luck. So even at 1 intelligence, it doesn't trigger super often, and at 10 intelligence, it doesn't lower it by as much as you think. So it is actually a fairly good perk to get early on, just to get the bonuses. Um, but yeah, I saved my points because I only spent what I had to get. I think I got 1 perk of science as well, so I could build my power plant there. Oh, there's the dog.
Hey, moving out.
All right. So now we got the dog. So this here is how I maxed out all of those things. As you can see, you're special. So it's a bunch of conveyor belts. I have a vacuum hopper that pulls out of the conveyor storage and just sends them around. So the way you can do this is if you grab a book as it's going into the storage, you have a chance. I don't know what causes it, but you have a chance to duplicate the book. And I'm just going to say this is what I did. And if you stand there and do it often enough, and then just as you get duplicates, dump them into the conveyor storage so that it'll continue to go around, um, eventually you'll max out your things. It does not work on every duplication. It does not work. You can look up a video that maybe explains it a bit better. But this is how I did it. There's also probably a better way to build this so that it might be a little bit more efficient, but it doesn't matter because I was destroying it all after I showed you guys anyway. But yeah, so I basically got this built, and then I just stood here picking up books, taking them as they were going into the conveyor storage. Um, but yeah, other than that and the street lights here, I only have built 2 things. One, oh, whoops, not sprint. is my greenhouse, as you can see. I got 2 water tanks outside of the medium water pumps, which I do believe provide 10, I want to say. Yeah, 10 water. And since theoretically your maximum population is 20 people, having 2 of them is pretty much it. And I don't know, it's very rare that Sanctuary gets above that for me. As you can see, I put in a lot of effort to get things lined up with the base here as much as I could. Now, I will say that this wall over here, because of this bush going into it, was a pain in the ass, and I had to do the, there's a thing you can do where if you put down a rug next to, like, a wall or something, and you press and hold A on the rug to move it, it will actually grab the wall as well because it considers them connected, but it will only register the rug's placement as to whether or not you can put stuff, so it lets you clip stuff through where it wouldn't normally be able to. So as you can see, I have garden plots in here. The only things I have planted right now are a melon and a gourd because I didn't have very much to plant here. And then out back, I have a Brahmin feed trough. No Brahmin yet, but that's a whole thing. And then as you can see, I've built a cement wall around it. And any hole in the hedges here, I built a cement wall. Now this here's my power plant. It's not the best power plant because I can't build the nuclear reactors until I have like Science 4 or something. But currently I have 8 large generators which produce 10 power each, so I have 80 power total. Well, like 84 or something because like the small generators I have power in that. But yeah, this is just my big old power plant with the wire going out the front. I'll be doing more with that in the future, but currently that's just what it looks like. And then as you can see, I have walls. Normally, and actually I think I did a build in chat like fucking forever ago, while I was dicking around in Fallout 4. And you would have, and if you watched that, I think I showed around, and I had like this whole setup where I had like walls running all along the riverbank here, because like if we go into build mode again, you can see like it extends out to there, like the green lines there is how far you can build, and like it extends all the way out there. Normally I do, but because this is on such a fucking hill, it is such a pain to get it to go all the way down, and it was just so much easier to just block it off like this. Like so much easier. And then I still have the playground for the 0 kids that live here and ever will. But yeah, and then I just went around to like the backyards and everything, and I put the cement walls up in any of the hedge holes that there are. I do plan on doing like a whole defensive structure here, because there's every settlement has attack points attached to it, which is just basically if your settlement gets attacked, they'll spawn in a certain, like they'll spawn in a set number of locations and then attack, right? Unfortunately, while that sounds all well and good, unless you're present for the attack, it doesn't change a huge amount, because because if you don't get to your settlement fast enough, they'll just spawn the enemies inside your settlement, which is why it's generally a good idea to have all of your settlers armed to some degree. Now the dog should have followed us. And, oh, there it is. I was going to say, if it didn't follow us, that kind of defeats the purpose of this. So I haven't been back here since the last time we were here. But we're only going to be here for... where the fuck's... oh, there's the door. But we're only going to be back here for a couple minutes here, because... is this... sure. Because the only reason we're back here right now is to get the cryolator. Now you might be thinking, but you don't have master lockpicking, and
Don't
you're
think I can
correct.
pick this.
I'm not even close to getting. I'm not even close money, or not money wise.
Heads up.
Talk.
How you doing, buddy?
Fetch.
Hey, boy. Think you can find something for me?
So if you tell the dog to fetch,
See if there's any good stuff nearby, boy.
he'll look around for an item to get.
Heads up.
Okay, so now they may have patched this out, but I'm reasonably
Over here.
certain that this still works.
How you doing, buddy?
Fetch.
Hey, boy. Think you can find something for me? See if there's any good stuff nearby, boy.
See, now dog found something. And you should walk over there and pull the cryolator directly out of the case. Now, as you may have noticed, that did not go into my inventory, but
Look alive.
look alive and then fucking pull out a gun. But as you can see, cryolator and 200 cryo cells. Now, the reason this works is because the cryolator, while it's inside of a container, it's not inside a container. Like, once you unlock this, it just opens up the door, and then the cryolator is just on the wall. So if you get the dog close enough to it, and then tell him to fetch an item, he'll just be like, oh, you mean like this one? And pull it off the wall. So you don't need to worry about master lockpicking to fucking get it. And with that, Vault 111 is officially cleared. And that's everything, and that's the only other unique thing that we couldn't get on the first try because we needed the dog. Also, what I was trying to do with the dog to duplicate stuff doesn't work anymore. Or at least I couldn't get it to work. So it either doesn't work anymore or I just couldn't get it timed right. But yeah, the cryolator. It's honestly a pretty... Did I not equip it? I think I hit the wrong button. It's a pretty decent weapon. I think it's the only... Like, I don't think that you can find other cryolators out in the world or anything. I'm pretty sure that it's a unique gun. You can upgrade it to do stuff, and I want to say you can make ammo for it. Not really much of a gun that I use, but, you know, there's very few. Now, with that, we are actually going to leave the dog here and see if Codsworth will come with us.
There must be someone who can help you in Concord.
Hey, Codsworth.
Take a walk, sir. Get some fresh air.
Yeah, I wasn't sure or not. Okay, so we won't leave the dog because we can't get Codsworth to follow us yet. And the only reason I was going to try out the dog, as much as I like the dog, companions, once you get their relationship with you higher, you get bonus perks. And while some of them are better than others, none of them are 100% worthless. So, which I know isn't a rave review. It's like, you know what, this perk, it's not useless. But yeah, there's two locations that I want to do today instead of going to Concord. Just because I wanted to go back into Vault, or I wanted to show you what I built, and so far, which will probably be how most of these parts start. In all honesty. Ow. Bitch. Critical. Goodbye. He's got the shotgun. So these are raiders. They are real dicks. We're going to strip them bare for right now. Let's favorite that over here. Oh, oops. And then what did you give me? Black room glasses give me extra charisma. Greaser, no. Where's the? Because I don't think like what I'm wearing right now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it covers. So like when you see road leathers and like nothing's blinking on the right there, on the little picture of the dude, that's because it's showing you that the road leathers are just like underclothes and you can pile anything you want on top of them, whereas like the red dress takes your leg and chest slot. So with that, we can actually equip the raider stuff that we got to bump up our armor at least a little bit. Ah, there it is. But yeah, the two locations I want to clear today are the ranger cabin and the robotics disposal ground. Now, the ranger cabin. Oh, look, it's deer. And the dog's chasing them. We will be able to like fully clear out, like pull everything out of it while we're here because there's barely anything here. So we may as well just grab it and dump it off at home when we go back. There should be, I was going to say, a couple of blowflies around. I can't hit these fucking things. I'll use free aiming for like human enemies a lot, but oh, it's the doe that's fucking angry. Oh, whatever. But when it comes to like the bugs, ugh, they're horrible to hit. Even with bats, they're horrible to hit. Okay, we got a hot plate. The Wasteland Survival Guide.
Excellent.
Permanently take 5% less damage from melee attacks. And it has a bonus Mirelurk. I don't know what that word is. Bonus Mirelurk something. Anyway, self-defense secrets. Now, this book here, if you played Fallout 3, there's a whole quest in order to create the Wasteland Survival Guide that you had to go through, a whole quest chain. Took a long time, if I'm not mistaken. Take that, the launder green dress, and the Runaways holotape.
October 22nd, 2077. I finally told them tonight, and it was bad. Real bad. Dad was shouting, telling me I should be ashamed, that I had to get out of the house. Mom just cried. Somehow that hurt worse than anything else. She didn't say a word, not even when I packed my things. I can't go to John. He doesn't even know yet. Maybe he'll never know. If it weren't for the cabin, I wouldn't have a place to sleep. Just need some time to think. Last time I was here, I was just a little girl playing clubhouse in this old cabin. Now I'm really scared. Will anything ever be right again?
So yeah, this skeleton here belongs to a girl where just before the bombs fell, found out she had got pregnant. I realized I named my character John. That holotape does not have anything to do with my character, I promise. I named him John randomly because why not? I had no recollection that she actually said a name during that, and yeah. So I promise, different John. But yeah, there's a chemistry station here. There's a cooking station down there. But I think that doe is still pissed at me. But that's it. The only unique things that are here are the survival guide, which is obviously very good to get. Less damage from melee attacks is always nice. And the holotape, which just gives you a little bit of backstory into something that happened before the bombs fell. Now, it's nothing important that happened and has zero effect on anything else in the game or anybody else in the game, probably, because I mean, there's always a chance, obviously, in Fallout that there's a ghoul alive that was there before the Great War and before the bombs fell and everything, but the odds of you finding them, the odds of well, here's the thing, right? If you found them, the odds of them mentioning their daughter go up dramatically just because it's Fallout. Like, there's a lot of people who decide to share their life stories with you in Fallout, like, even more so than in Skyrim. Alright, we'll store the junk in there. We'll pop the cryolator in. We don't, believe it or not, need 4 pistols. I don't know where the hell I got all of them. We don't need those. We'll still keep the security baton just as backup. Now, I will sort this stuff a lot better in the future. But for the moment, it's all just going into the workshop. Like, in the future, I'll have, like... Well, normally what I do is I make a couple of the houses bunkhouses with, like, 10 beds each. And then I make... That one I don't care about. Sugar bombs, deviled eggs. Folders can go in there. I fucking hate folders. And then, yeah, all these can go in there as well. Alright. But yeah, I'll usually take a couple houses, turn them into bunkhouses. I'll usually make one, like, hairdressers. I'll make, well, not necessarily hairdressers, but I'll make something so I can put, like, the hairdresser station in there. I'll make one, like, a hospital and infirmary. And then I'll make one. I might do it a little different. Normally, I put, like, all the shops into a single building. Like, I'll usually build my own little, like, marketplace there. I do really like that, but I might do it a little differently. I'll probably still have, like, a little market, because, like I said, I do really like the way it looks. But I'm thinking of putting, like, my weapons and my armor vendors into, like, their own building, so that I can maybe display some of my customized weapons and armor a little bit better. So like I said, the other location I wanted to clear is the robotics disposal ground. Still not a whole lot there. I think there's some mole rats, but that's about it. Oh yeah, and we can also check out, so you can see there's a circuit breaker. Boop. And then if we follow the wire, this is actually an unmarked location. I very rarely remember that it's here, because it's not really something too important. As you see, there's, you can get some money, you can get some 44 rounds, bobby pins, and then yeah, that's more or less it. I mean, it's just, I don't even, I think it's a water, I think this is like a filtration system or something, but I'm not sure. Obviously it's drawing water from there up to there, but yeah, that's just like a little unmarked location close by. Oh yeah, there's also that we'll go and grab. This part. Fridge. And the water as well. I don't know why it's glowing over there. Go check it out, but there's another dead person. The weird thing to me is, like, what are their clothes made out of? Because, like, they've been out here for quite a while. And like some of the ones that might be like shoved into like basements of buildings or something, it's like, all right. I mean, oh, there's fucking mirelurks over here apparently. Oh. Oh, oh, I got stuck on something. Damn it. I'm not getting shots like they're keeping their, hey, there's one. Oh, I think more little ones are waking up. Damn it. I need to reload that as well. There we go. Fucking mirelurks, man. Oh, little ones are back. So apparently there's a mirelurk nest over here. I don't know where the hell dog went to. Fucking seem to have lost him. But yeah, whenever you come across a mirelurk nest, there's obviously going to be mirelurks nearby. And there's also always going to be little hatchlings coming out of the eggs, which are super annoying. But the eggs themselves can be useful later. But anyway, here's the robotics disposal ground. We're actually entering from the back way. And as you can see, we do have a sentry bot here. Yeah. I do believe it's like the Sentry Mark V or something. Hey, military grade circuit board. I needed circuitry or something. Can't remember what I was trying to build. Now there are a few things to get here. There's some stuff inside, but there's something. There's a thing I need to get out here. That will definitely come in handy if I can. Ah, there it is. A fat man. The strongest weapon in any Fallout game. Dog looks worried. Maybe he was just in sneak mode for some reason. Duct tape paintbrush. Stim back. And another useful, well, useful might be a stretch.
Perfect.
But the Hot Rodder magazine. Another one of the magazines in the game. This one actually, issue number 1. And as you can see, you permanently unlock a custom paint job. Which actually is the Flames paint job, if I'm not mistaken. And then I can see there's like a weapons bench. For some reason, a lot of these weapon benches have makeshift batteries next to them, and I'm not quite sure why. I will say I don't mind like the way they did the crafting that in this game. I kind of wish that like the objects themselves, like military grade circuit board. There's nothing that takes a military grade circuit board. You just break it down for stuff. Alright. Delivery log. Prototype sentry bot unknown. 15 protectrons, all missing limbs. 4 decommissioned sentry bots. 8 robo brains, IQ well below 80. That's not what you want in your death robots. 14 iBots with vision sensors missing. In other words, they're iBots whose eyes didn't work. 9 protectrons missing all limbs. Wow, they're not really good at that. 27 defective Mr. Handies who won't stop talking. And then once again, 12 protectrons missing all limbs. Employee notes. So Dylan said, weird, more of those protectrons with no arms or legs. How do you even miss that in production? Do they have robots building these robots or something? That's a scary thought. I don't know where the robots came from, because I do believe we come across a factory where they're put together, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Robots making robots is yikes. We just got these iBots in the other day that were actually missing their eyes. Isn't that ironic? Ugh. Anyway, yeah, missing something like that, they must have a lot of their own bots on staff or something. Yeah, but you'd think if they had their own robots, then there'd be less chance of them missing that stuff, right? They just dropped the sentry bots off. It doesn't look like there's anything wrong with them. Why would they just throw them away like this? I'm thinking about taking one of these things home and setting up to mow my lawn. What do you think? I think it's kind of big to be mowing your lawn, but whatever. More of those Protectrons missing everything. I heard from a couple of the other nearby sites that they keep getting them too. Someone made a big mistake. Weird that it's cheaper to dump them here than to send them back and attach some arms to them. That is very odd. You would think, they're missing their arms and legs, like, so put some on. Some weird guys dressed in all black just dropped off a sentry bot of some kind. They wouldn't say who they were. The thing looks like it's fully functional. They even had it drive itself into the yard and shut down. I looked in the trunk they threw next to it, and it's had a holotape in there. I'm thinking about seeing what's on it, but those guys in black have me pretty freaked out. I was joking about taking one of those sentries home. Don't look at that holotape. If those guys dump it all here, they had a good reason, and you probably don't want to get mixed up in it. We've got an easy job here. Come in a couple times a week, walk the perimeter, and go home. Don't let curiosity screw that up. Okay, so if we load the holotape, which we can take this out and we can carry it with us, commissioned by Redacted and built by Redacted, this prototype sentry must only be operated by official personnel of Redacted or the associated client. This holotape should accompany a Combat Sentry Mark IV. Redacted is not responsible for any property damage, personal injury, or loss of life sustained while operating this prototype. If you are not a member of Redacted or an associate of this prototype's owner, Redacted, you must destroy this holotape immediately and deny any existence of it or the accompanying prototype. So you can activate it. It doesn't attack you. This operation will boot the Combat Sentry Prototype Mark IV and all of its presently loaded systems. Warning, this Combat Sentry is a prototype. It is highly recommended that all tests are performed in a closed environment under Combat Proto Systems Initiative Code, whatever. The current user is at fault for any training incidents that occur. Continue with boot up sequence. Now, I don't think it matters, but I'm going to eject the holotape first. Because like I said, I'm reasonably, and I'm going to quick save. I'm reasonably certain that when we boot this up, it isn't going to attack us, but I can't remember if it's because we have the tape or not. So let's activate this beast. So when you activate it, so now we can deactivate it, engage defense protocol. Now I think this is the same information. So if we engage defense protocol, detecting nearby U.S. military compounds that currently require assistance. So we can actually send it, as long as we're near the robot. Like, we can't go to these locations and then call the robot to us. You have to be near the robot to do this. So all 4 of these places are places in the game world. And we can send this robot there to clear them out. We're not going to send it to any of them as of yet.
Powering up. AI initiating. Scanning protocols and rules of engagement. Current objective. Patrol immediate area and neutralize any hostiles that pose a possible threat to the U.S. military and or its citizens.
Okay, so yeah, it'll chill here for now. And hopefully I'll remember.
Citizens, please clear the area and find cover. There is a 95.23% chance of collateral damage.
Yeah, so once you've activated the sentry, that's what spawns the mole rats. Now, thankfully, because we have a sentry bot, not that it's necessary, but it's obviously helpful. And as long as we don't hit the robot, we should be good.
Recommend immediate repairs to primary systems to ensure continued operation.
Yeah, I'm sure you're fine, buddy. Well, that mole rat had a pencil. But yeah, that's what makes the mole rat spawn, is activating the robot. And then, like I said, he'll patrol around here. He doesn't go out at all, I don't think. Like where we just saw him there out the front gate, I think is as far out as he goes. And that USAF Olivia, also there's a mini nuke here. See it, but I can't. Maybe if I crouch. Can't seem to pick that one up. Well, oh, wait, there we go. I kicked it loose, apparently. So yeah, there's a mini nuke there, which not a huge amount of those in the game. And then did we actually get one of those? I think. Ooh, what is that even under? Definitely not under junk. It should be under. Yeah, we got a fusion core as well. We have 2 fusion cores. Where the fuck did we get the other one from? I'm pretty sure that one of the fusion cores was in that box that was next to him. But I'm not sure where the other fusion core came from.
Excuse me, there is a message.
Now there is one more thing that I want to go to. So if you look on my radar there, you can see there is a mine, and then there's a radio, or like a satellite dish there. The satellite dish is actually that USAF Olivia that we can send the robot to. The mine actually has a quest chain to some degree. But as you can see, there's a crashed vertibird here with some power armor. Now, depending on what your level is when you approach this place will determine the power armor that's there. This is technically an unmarked location. But if you come here and then, it's like, oh, but I can send the robot to there. Why don't we do that, right? And then follow it. There's a good chance you'll come across this. Now, most of the power armor sets that you come across in the game will, oh yeah, they also take fusion cores to run. But most of the power armor sets that you come across in the game will be based on your level. We just need to go west, right? So, like, if I had... I don't know exactly how close you need to be for it to spawn. But yeah, the power armor does a lot of stuff in this game. Not only does it change your HUD, but it obviously gives you better damage control. Oh, like this. Another unmarked location of some kind of raider, I'm assuming. Anyway. Thank you. You shooting my dog? Rick? Don't. He must be a raider from that location we're at. But... yeah, I don't remember that raider. I don't remember that location either, but I mean, it is an unmarked location, so that's not a surprise. But yeah, they use fusion cores to run around. They let you sprint easier, and by that I mean it drains your action points less. Obviously, you can take more damage. You can carry more stuff, which is nice. So what you actually just saw right there was a thing that only happens if you have the dog. Also a headshot at this guy from that distance. Another unmarked location, little bandit camp. But here's the thing though, right? I keep saying unmarked location. This may just be a random encounter that spawned in. This may not be an unmarked location. Sometimes it's hard to tell. But anyway, as you saw there, the dog was holding her arms so that I could shoot it. Now, with what we just picked up.
Hey.
What we just picked up, though, was the skull bandana, which we can actually equip on the dog, so that he now has a skull bandana. You won't see me in power armor very often. I pick up a lot of suits of power armor, and then I generally just bring them back and dump them off at Red Rocket. Because I don't care for the HUD. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I don't care for the HUD. I don't care for the big thump 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 noise that you make as you walk around. All of it makes sense to have. I just don't like it. So I don't use power armor in this game. So like I said, you'll see me pick up a lot of power armor, and you'll see me bring it to like Red Rocket and then never touch it again. There is a couple instances where I'll use power armor, but overall, it's very rare to see me in power armor. So this here is actually the power armor station. Now, probably the most annoying part about this, right, is you can't just walk up to it and put your power armor in it. You have to walk up to it and leave your power armor. So just to show you, just like the guns, and I guess now that I have armor, I can show you. As you can see on the right there, I can't make like very much of this because I need science and armor. Well, I have the science, but I need rank 4 armor, rank 1 armor. And as you can see, like the damage resistance is 150, 130. And I can't remember, I think it was our vault suit. We had like 5 and 10. Like, it's ridiculous. And then we can add the paint jobs, obviously. Now, the paint jobs actually do stuff in this game. So, like, the hot rods. Oh, and they're also locked to specific armors. So, like, the hot rod paint job, or maybe not, actually. I was going to say, because I think, like, some of them are. The hot rod ones, though, like the ones you get from the magazines, maybe they are. But as you can see, it increases agility with all pieces painted. The military one is strength, charisma for vault tech. The explosive shielding, though, just reduces damage from explosives for each piece that you have. You don't need all of them for that. Titanium plating increases armor health so it doesn't break as fast. Radiation resistance from lead plating. Energy resistance from prism shielding. And a little bit more energy, or a little bit less energy resistance for winterized coating, but it also doesn't add as much weight. As you complete, or as you get ranks in factions, I think it's a fairly early rank. It may even just be you have to join the faction. You can actually get faction-specific paint jobs, and those actually are locked to specific armors. So, like, these are T45, which is the Minutemen. And then, like, the T60, I think, armor is Brotherhood. And then there's XO1 armor, which is for the Institute, I think. And then whatever one is in between 45 and 60 is for the Railroad. And they all do stuff as well. And now the things for the arm, I think, are all basically increase melee stuff. But if we go, and then the legs, increase sprint speed, but it increases your sprint speed, but it also takes more action points, so it is very balanced and not worth it. Increased carry weight for impact landing, which when you jump from high up in a power armor, you get and you land, it actually causes impact damage. Reduces action points, increase action point refresh while moving, which is this one here is actually really good because like as you're running around, because very few times in Fallout are you going to like be taking cover or standing still during a fight. You generally want to keep moving, so that's actually really good. But when you get into the torsos where you get like the important mods, it's like you have the stealth boy, which is pretty much the only way you can be stealthy in this thing. Also increases refresh speed, reduces chance for addiction from drugs. Now that's another thing that you will not see me taking advantage of in this game is drugs. I never use them really because it's a limited time effect, and you always have the chance to become addicted. Now I do believe that there is a perk that you can get where it makes it impossible for you to become addicted, but below 20% health, speed increases, and incoming damage is reduced. That's just your standard increased state, increased strength. Taking damage recharges action points. Also a pretty good one because, especially if you're going to be in power armor, odds are you're going to be taking damage. Gives you more of that. Detects hits during combat and automatically uses a stim pack when health is low. If you're somebody who fails to pay attention to your health, that's a good one. Reflects 50% of melee damage back on attacker. Now this one is actually really good because all throughout the game you have a lot of melee attackers. I mean, it doesn't matter who you're fighting. They're generally ones that, unless you pick a fight with the Minutemen for some reason, there's generally a lot of melee attackers. The Tesla Coils one is pretty good. Deals energy damage to nearby enemies. It's not a huge amount of damage, but it's damage. And then you have the Jetpack, which, as you can see, is the only one that drastically changes the armor, but enables jet-assisted boost while jumping. It sounds awesome, and it is really good, but at the same time, yeah, you know. And then I'll show you, where's the armor workbench? Do we not have an armor workbench in this shithole? Or is it like out back or something? Yeah, it's out back. Because I never... So these actually all do change the look of it. As you can see, the leather armor only requires armor 1. As we get better armor, as we advance in the game and kill better enemies, we'll get armor that requires higher ranks in that. And then now most of these are more or less the same. Reduces weight, reduce damage from explosion, carrying capacity, reduce fire damage, and immune to being set on fire, which is always nice. Even more carrying capacity than the other one, radiation damage reduction, even more explosion damage reduction, ultralight build, greatly reduce weight, increase your AP bonus, increase duration of chems by 50% if you want to once again be a druggie, reduces the magnitude of incoming stagger, so when you get hit with a melee attack, your character won't be like, oh, you know. I don't know if it works against like gunfire as well, but either way, the chess pieces have some pretty good stuff on them. Yeah, it's all stuff that is that you probably won't be seeing me dick around with very much because that'll all be stuff that I do off camera. But I figured I should probably show it to you at least once, right? But yeah, that's 2 locations cleared. I think that's... Yeah, that's time, actually. So yeah, next time we'll head into Concord, because hopefully I'll have a little bit more built. Or at the very least, I'm hoping to have the bunkhouses built. And potentially some defenses, but we'll see. But that'll be it for this part. Thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you next week for more.